So you are looking for resources, particularly in the Los Angeles basin area, and you're looking for some caring hands and you're looking for some helping hands. And so, hello, I am Joe Rosen, president and founder of Parkinson's Resource Organization. And I am here today and so pleased to tell you on things to know right now about a new wellness villager. I'm going to introduce you to Sean Markey, who's the program director, and also to Monica Alvera, who is the current intake director going into outreach. And they are from a foundation called Helping Hands Senior Foundation. So welcome, Sean, welcome, Monica, and thank you for all you do for the services for seniors in the Los Angeles basin area. And let's tell our audience today some of the things that you do. For instance, and you covered so many different areas, so we'll try to get into most of them today. But I'd really like to start with a subject that is dear to my heart, that I know that you participate in, and tell us, and not enough people even know about what an adult daycare center is. But could you tell us what an adult daycare center is and how you support and what you do for seniors in the Los Angeles area regarding adult daycare centers?
Absolutely. And so with adult daycare centers, there are medical and social models. The medical model being paid for through insurance, typically through Medi-Cal, and a social model being private pay or potentially free or subsidized, so that the client doesn't pay and there's no cost to their insurance. Part of our program is providing case management and care planning. And one of those components is helping to bolster the senior social support structure. So very oftentimes getting them to an adult daycare center so that they can access typically a hot meal per day, access a social worker and socialization, access to transportation resources. These are all things that come kind of packaged in typically with each adult day center referral. And so it's very common as part of our care planning process to get somebody linked up to their closest ADHD or adult day healthcare center so that they can tap into those resources.
Yeah, I told you it was dear to my heart. One of the first things that we did 31 years ago, we had our first fundraiser and we gave $1,000 to an adult daycare center to help them support people with Parkinson's in the Santa Monica area. And so it's just, again, not too many communities have adult daycare centers. So I'm really tickled to see that you're helping in that area. Has the COVID-19 pandemic affected you in the work that you're doing?
So we'll start with as it relates to making referrals to adult daycare centers and then into the broader sense. But definitely COVID has affected referrals to local support resources because some of those things are shut down. And it's caused us to change how we do things and what resources it is that we offer to people. But now as that pertains to us and how we do business, our model is to provide case management and care planning to seniors, regardless of their income, insurance, or health condition. So the resources that we refer to seniors may and their families may have changed over the past several months, but the model is the same. Listen without judgment. Dig for what is important to the client and important in their situation for making a good care plan. Find out what they qualify for and share as many good resources with them as possible so that they are armed with information about resources, support programs, health services, fall prevention, things like that. So the resources that we work with have changed, but the model is the same.
So you have food assistance programs I know that you're involved with, and so as that I would think that part of that probably elevated during some of the peak of the pandemic. Yeah,
absolutely. So that's one of the things that I would say is that one of the big changes for us is that we used to have maybe 30 or 40% of our programs with people who are already living in facilities, and then a little bit over half was for homebound seniors, people that needed services at home. Since COVID happened, we haven't been able to do any programs inside of facilities. They're very much locked down. And so we converted to helping people connect to a lot more resources to help them at home. And a lot of people who did have support from family members who were doing okay before the pandemic, the family member who was supporting the senior or disabled person now is struggling themselves and can't offer that additional assistance. So there are great programs near us, like the Great Plates program, which actually delivers food to people's homes. Tons of different food pantry programs, which typically have, unfortunately, longer wait times because of social distancing and only allowing certain numbers of people, into the at certain times. And then an organization with a very similar name to ours, Helping Hands Community, which actually helps partner people who are homebound, adults and people with disabilities, with a volunteer who can then go to a food pantry for them or do shopping for them. So the food assistance program and people asking for that, whereas it used to be needed but fewer, that's definitely shot up in importance. And having just that contact with somebody, if it's a senior who's homebound, not only getting the food, but having somebody check in with them every few days just to make sure that they're okay and have a person to talk to.
It's probably a good segue to go into talk to us a little bit about home care and what you do there.
Absolutely. So with home care, just like the topic of adult daycare, there are different ways for people to pay for that. And a lot of the clients that reach out to us at least can't pay out of pocket or can't pay the market rate. So first, in-home care is non-medical for what we're talking about here, and typically that has to do with errand running service, companionship, helping with chores at home, maybe helping somebody with reminders about their medication or do their exercises or things like that. And there are programs that most people would know about, the traditional in-home care programs, which could be very costly. Before a client of ours spends anything out of pocket, we look to see, can they qualify for Medi-Cal or Medicaid, state-funded services. In California, this is Medi-Cal pays for IHSS or in-home supportive services. There's programs through the VA. There's programs through Catholic charities and other programs that match volunteers with seniors. And then there's subsidized or low-cost resources. So as it pertains to Helping Hands and how we connect people to resources, we always look for, when somebody does need care, what can I get for free? What can I get through a program? What can I get that's subsidized? And then showing them after all of those resources have been tapped into, what the fair market resources are that are available.
What a phenomenal service. I mean, both of you, I applaud you, because it takes intuition, it takes ingenuity, it takes knowledge, it takes a heart. So I really, really appreciate what you do. All of us will and do, now that we get to know you. So just for a second or three, tell us, there's a difference between home care and home health care. You might want to just elaborate just a little bit about that. Unfortunately, we don't have an hour today, so we can't tell our audience everything, but if you can just give us a definition between those two.
Absolutely. So when somebody needs in-home care, there's all those layers that I had just talked about. Some of them free, some of them subsidized, some of them paid, and so on and so forth. One of the other aspects that we look at are what are the healthcare needs of the client, and making sure that they understand how to tap into different resources that can be covered through their insurance. So whether they have Medi-Cal or an HMO or a PPO or Medicare or VA, or anything else that I'm not, thinking of right now, if we can help them identify what criteria there are that they already meet, and then encourage them to have a conversation with their primary care doctor or a clinic or something like that, then there are services that are paid for through insurance. And very oftentimes people don't know to ask for certain things, and then they end up going without. So part of our care planning process is digging. No matter what the chief complaint or concern of the client is, can we peel back additional layers and then help them understand what's available in their situation? And that's where home health, hospice care, and other insurance-based services, just being aware of the qualifications, is an important part of the care planning process.
So again, I'm really pleased that you're coming on board with us to help people, because the key that you said is they're unaware of it, and so they go unhelped in areas where they really need it to have quality of life. And it need not be that way. So again, so grateful that we're having this conversation and that the world is getting to know about Helping Hands LA and about Parkinson's Resource Organization and how we work every day to create greater quality of life for people who may not have the knowledge base of what is available to them, and then help them get to that spot. So a couple of other things that might come into play: financial assistance, medical equipment. We're working on almost nanoseconds today, Sean. So if you can, or Monica, if you would like to chime in, please do. Tell us how you can help in some of those areas, especially financial assistance.
Sure, I'll take financial assistance, then I'll defer to you, Monica, for our DME Library department, so you have a little bit of time to prepare for that as well. For financial assistance, this can come in many different forms, and I like that old saying, a penny saved or a dollar saved is a dollar earned. So sometimes people need a bag of cash or think they need a bag of cash to solve their problems, and that's really hard to come by. But if we can help people to save money on their existing cost of living, that's one way or one thing that I would put into the financial assistance category. And that could be in California, a HEAP utility assistance, a Lifeline telephone program that's only $8 a month for a landline, or $0 a month for a cell phone. Internet through AT&T here is $5 if you're a senior or qualify under certain other qualifications, criteria. And so saving people money, food resources, transportation resources through things here like Access Transit, which is only $1.50 or $1.75 per ride each leg anywhere in the county. So saving somebody money on their existing cost of living. And then there's other programs through, as an example, the veterans benefits. Sometimes people don't know. And an example short, my mother was a veteran, and she didn't like the VA. There's two camps: people that love the VA and people that don't like the VA. So she had Kaiser her entire life and didn't know to tap into the veterans benefits. And when she finally did, she had a pretty big pension that she didn't know about for years.
Amazing grace. Okay, and Monica, you want to add to that?
Yeah, so we have our DME Library, which is actually run by one of our employees here named Cynthia, and we connect them with walkers, cane, wheelchairs. There's some that are also looking for a Hoyer list, so we can definitely connect with that as well. I know with caregivers and a lot of the people that have Parkinson's don't know that there are Hoyer lists out there to help them lift up their family members, especially as they start getting back issues and can't walk as well. So that's definitely there for them, and just connecting with different DME that they may be looking for.
And then do you also, just a brief, you connect with other, like the Lions Club, I think is an organization that loans wheelchairs in many very different places. And then there's another organization that does eyeglasses and works like that. So this is also neat. It's just connecting dots and making it better for those who are living within those dots. So I'll just say, I mean, I covered a whole lot of topics, and there's a lot more that people can find on you, about you, and from you in the Wellness Village on our website. So I'm just going to ask for either of you or both, is there anything in particular that you think people should know right now?
So one, to just reach out and ask for help. One of the things that we talked about earlier, and you hammered the point home, is that people go without because they're unaware. So if somebody's situation isn't a 10, I'm not guaranteeing that we can get it to 10 out of 10, but if somebody thinks their situation is a 6, maybe we can get it to a 7. Maybe we can get it higher than what it is. So that for anybody who doesn't have everything that they want, not that we can get them everything that they want, but that it's worth a conversation, and that we will listen without judgment and get them to hopefully some resources that help them to improve their quality of life. So take that first step and look to see what is out there. That's all I would share.
So neat. Monica, do you have anything to add to that?
Sure. I mean, language isn't a barrier for us here. So if it's English or Spanish, we're always here and willing to help.
Fabulous. I'm so grateful to have both of you on with us this morning. And so I just want to say to everyone that's listening, you'll find this wonderful resource in the Wellness Village on our website. You'll find the URL right beneath our pictures and names. And you'll also find articles in the newsletter that are coming from Helping Hands LA. And they will be articles to educate you on what you might like to look for in your community in case you are not in the Los Angeles basin. But we will also say that if you're in the Los Angeles basin, please don't hesitate to reach out and talk to them. Even if you're not, I'll just take that back and say, even if you're outside of the LA basin, you're in New York or New Jersey or Florida or wherever, and you think you'd like to find something and you can't quite put your finger on how to do that, go to the Wellness Village, go to their page and give them a call. And perhaps just that little conversation can get you to the right resource. That's what this is all about. Resources for those who need them. And we're here today to educate you, to let you know that there are a lot of them out there available to you. We just need to put you together with them. And that's what we're doing. I want to thank you, Sean, so much for coming together today. And Martha, congratulations on all the moves you're making within the foundation. And I really appreciate what you've done for the world, for us, and we can make this a better place, one person at a time. And I think we're doing that. So thanks again for our chat this morning and the things to know right now.
And thank you for the opportunity.